Good morning. It's Thursday. We have finished our section of Matthew 15 for this week. So today and tomorrow we're going to do something a little different. Tomorrow is Sing Along Friday, and we're going to pull out some Mennonite hymns. And today we're looking at Psalm 119. Psalm 119 is really super long, and it's a bunch of stanzas organized according to the Hebrew alphabet, and and they are it's an amazing testament to God's rules and instructions, really, the whole thing, and God's faithfulness and help. And the three pieces that we're going to look at, Lamed, Mem, and Nun, are familiar pieces of them. I'll read the first verse of each one. This would be verse 80, 89, verse 97, verse 105. Your word, Lord, stands firm in heaven forever. I love your instruction. I think about it constantly. Your word is a lamp before my feet and a light for my journey. That's the one that we would know by heart, right? The back up in verse 90, your faithfulness extends from one generation to the next. You set the earth firmly in place, and it's still there. Your rules endure to this day because everything serves you. If your instruction hadn't been my delight, I would have died because of my suffering. And then in the next section again, starting in verse 98, your commandment makes me wiser than my enemies because it's always with me. I have greater insight than all my teachers because I contemplate your laws. Then later on in 106, after your word is a lamp before my feet, I have sworn and I fully mean it. I will keep your righteous rules. I've been suffering so much. Lord, make me live again according to your promise. Please, Lord, accept my spontaneous gifts of praise. Teach me your rules. Though my life is constantly in danger, I won't forget your instruction. Though the wicked have set a trap for me, I won't stray from your precepts. Your laws are my possession forever because they are my heart's joys. I've decided to keep your statutes forever, every last one. It's interesting to think about being so happy about rules and instruction, isn't it? That's not always something that we're happy about these days. And with regards to God's rules, our argument is probably less with God and more with how some have interpreted God's rules and instructions. But it's really hard to separate those, right? But the fact remains that we need God to guide us. We need God's rules and instructions. Otherwise, we're floundering around with nothing. We have no idea how to be faithful to God. And so we need to keep working at understanding those things and having them before us. They give us light. They give us marching orders in some sense. They give us vision, which is now the cue for the song. We're going to sing "Be Thou My Vision," and it's just so the question today is how do we feel about God's rules and instructions, and is there some separation? If we're grumpy about some of those, do we need to make some separation or some distinction between how some have taught, or is our problem really with God? And then that's a matter for prayer. God's big enough to deal with all that, and so I would just encourage just talking that out with God. So let's sing "Be Thou My Vision." Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart. Not be all else to me save that thou art. Thou my best thought by day or by night. Waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my wisdom, be thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father, thy child may I be. Thou in me dwelling, and I one with thee. Be thou my buckler, my sword for the fight. Be thou my dignity, thou my delight. Thou my soul shelter, thou my high tower. Raise thou me heavenward, O power of my power. Riches I heed not, nor vain empty praise. Thou mine inheritance now and always, Thou and Thou only first in my heart. High King of heaven, my treasure Thou art. High King of heaven, when victory is won, may I reach heaven's joys, O bright heaven's sun. Heart of my heart, whatever befall, still be my vision, O rule